Welcome to Upon Further Review. I'm Josh Aubrey. Plenty of action going on athletically around Bullitt County this past weekend. You had Georgia Southern holding their annual blue-white game at Paulson Stadium. A chance to see the Eagle offense and the newly implemented 3-4 look on defense in action. We'll take you out there for some highlights, and also had a chance to talk with head coach Chad Lunsford as well as some of the players about how things went for the spring game as well as in the spring overall. We also have some soccer action for you over at Statesboro High School. The Blue Devils with an exciting couple of games there at Womack Field. Also, we'll head out to Mill Creek Regional Park where the Statesboro baseball team were able to sew up a spot in the state playoffs, winning over New Hampstead in a doubleheader there on Thursday. We'll get to all of that and much more in just a moment, but before that, we'd like to remind you, for any legal advice you may have in the Statesboro Bullitt County area, we have the man for you to call, Lovett Bennett Jr., attorney at law PC, Lovett's office located in downtown Statesboro.
No credit refused isn't just an offer, it's a way of business and has been for over 100 years. No banks, no ridiculous credit requirements, just local Badcock store owners who treat you right and give you credit when others won't. It's never been easier to express your style and love your home.
The conclusion of spring football at Georgia Southern always wraps up with the blue-white game. This year, no exception, taking place over at Paulson Stadium. A good crowd was on hand for all the action as the Eagle fans and coaches and players, for that matter, got to see how the offense and defense looked under new offensive coordinator Bob DeBess and new defensive coordinator Scott Sloan, who implemented his new 3-4 defense. And everybody had a chance to look at that. There were obviously some good and some bad out there. Let's get out and take a look at some highlights and hear from Coach Lunsford and some of the players about how they feel like the spring game went, as well as spring football in general. The annual blue-white game taking place Saturday afternoon at Paulson Stadium before a good crowd. Head coach Chad Lunsford splitting the team into defense and offense for the scrimmage, which saw the defense stepping up in the early stages. Here the pass from Shy Wertz broken up, the ball up for grabs, hauled in by Sean Freeman, who makes a nice return to midfield. The offense with their moments later. Here running back Eric Montgomery breaks free and he goes 40 yards for the touchdown. A little bit later, Cato Brown in at quarterback, moving the team downfield. Here he picks up a first down. Ruled touched just shy of the goal line, and then the inside handoff to redshirt freshman Jared Daniels, who scores. The Eagles going to the air as well. Wertz here will find Malik Henry across the middle for a Georgia Southern white team first down. Then later, Wertz will air it out to Wesley Kennedy. Nice play there. Overall, Coach Lunsford commented that the defense was ahead of the offense, but overall he was pleased with the blue-white game as well as the way things went this spring.
You know, I thought it was a good ending to the spring. You know, when you go into a spring game and you do not play teams, you obviously get into a scrimmage situation. So it's offense versus defense. So sometimes it's hard to get in a rhythm, you know, but I think the guys came out and competed, did a really good job. Defensively, you know, I feel like we really started the scrimmage well. I think defense is probably a little bit further along in the spring than our offense. And, you know, but the offense did respond later on and then got some good plays there. You know, we're not close right now. We got to continue to work, and it is a process. You know, we knew that going into the spring game, it wasn't going to be a final product. We still got fall camp, and then we got obviously the first game, So we're going to continue to work, and I think our guys are doing a really good job of trying to buy into what we're trying to do. We got to make sure that we play more clean. Sometimes it's just as important mentally what you do before the snap than what you do in between the whistles. We're going to play fast, we're going to play hard in between the whistles, but we got to make sure that we're ready to roll before that snap and know exactly what our job is. But overall, I think it was a really good spring. I thought the guys did a really good job of coming out to work every day. We know what the expectations here, and these guys understand it. So they're always going to go to work, and they're going to be ready come fall. We just got to make sure we continue to work. Implementing two schemes on offense and defense, I think the growth, I think that is on a upward trend. The other thing is just our positive vibe. I think the guys are really bought into what we want to do, and I know they are. They understand the expectations here, and they know what they've got to do to try to get there. And it's a process, and we're continuing to work. But I think their mind is right. I feel like that they are trying to get it done, and we'll just continue to work to get there. Another positive, and this could be a part of the football team too. I was really impressed by Eagle Nation coming out to the spring game. I thought that was a really good crowd. Our guys did a good job of getting out this week and trying to excite everybody. So just want to make sure I gave a shout out to Eagle Nation for coming out and watching us today. I think right now the biggest piece of what we've got to do is learning how to play clean. I think there's still some, the best way to say this, I think there's still some things from last year that are still in their minds. Like they get, I want to see them more confident. I want them to, play more loose and understand that they got to go out there and play like their hair's on fire. Sometimes I think they get out there and they just, they're worried about, this happened on the last play, and we got to put that stuff away and we got to go play the next play. And I think that a lot of that's just from last year, and I think we're still continuing to get over that. The biggest piece is the mental part and just making sure we stay focused and make sure we come out in the fall and play clean.
Yeah, we started kind of slow. A lot of undisciplined things early on in the spring. They kind of got better throughout the spring. But overall, I feel like it was a good spring. We definitely got better. Picking it up, it's a lot different than it was last year. A lot of different schemes than we had last year. Picking it up, I feel like I've done a pretty good job. A little inconsistent here and there with my reads, but I feel like it'll get better, with fall camp and stuff. And it just comes with reps. So right now, like I said before, I'm not being complacent where I'm at. I feel like I've picked offense up pretty good this spring, but, still got fall camp and, of course, getting ready for September 1st.
I feel like spring was good. We've been on an uphill path all spring, so as long as we keep staying on that path, we'll be good. I do feel like my role will have to be a lot bigger. We honestly need a lot of explosive plays, so just trying to be that guy and get the explosiveness back.
Spring, I give us a B+ right now because, we still learning everything from a defense Coach Sloan's scheme. We coming in with 3-4. Last year we came in with the 4-2 with Coach Zoe, but I feel like we still learning right now. Having guys in your face right now because, with the four down lineman, you don't really have guys in your face that much, but right now you got your D-line slanting a lot. So, just learning how to get off the guys with the offensive line coming in your face a lot. Just speed, working on our speed and technique, really. That's all we can really rely on right now is speed and technique and just being a dog about it.
So that wraps up the spring football. Coming up next for the Eagles, they'll be hitting the fall camp before you know it. They're in August. All right, well, stay with us. Plenty more to come in just a moment.
To stay ahead, a parent has to really be on the go and stop for school, stop for sports, stop for an intervention. But you don't have to stop for banking. To stay ahead with mobile online banking, bank ahead with Queensboro National Bank and Trust.
See Jeremy Reagan and the staff at Queensboro National Bank and Trust, South Main Street in Statesboro.
A sports injury can stop you in your tracks. At Optum Orthopedics, our specialized physicians and staff use advanced orthopedic procedures with one specific goal in mind: to get you back to you. If you have a sports injury, request an evaluation. Experience the Optum difference.
Family Internal Medicine Associates of Statesboro, providing primary care for Statesboro area patients since 1998, providing complete physicals, complete sports physicals, Medicare wellness exams, full diabetes treatment, and education from lifestyle changes to oral medications to insulin pump therapy. In-house dermatology, in-house circulation tests and ultrasounds, in-house lab. And introducing our new nurse practitioner, Melissa Beasley, as we now accommodate same-day or next-day appointments to serve your needs. Family Internal Medicine Associates of Statesboro, where we care. Well, high school soccer wrapping up for all of our teams around the county. At Southeast Bullocks, boys and girls both clinching state playoff spots. They will be in action this week. As for Statesboro High, the girls wrapped up the region title with a big win against Wayne County this past week. As for the boys, the girls, they both still have a game left this week on the road at Ware County, and that will determine for the boys where they're seeded. The girls will be the number 1 seed in the state playoffs, which start next week. Bullock Academy's boys and girls finishing up the regular season this week, and they'll get things going for the postseason starting next week. All right, let's get out there and take a look at some highlights from Statesboro High. They had a couple of big games this past week. Statesboro Soccer hosting South Effingham. The ladies trying to stay unbeaten, and 30 seconds in, things look good. Nora Wiggins to Isabella Gutierrez. She blasts this one in, and quickly it's 1-0 Statesboro. The Blue Devils with another chance moments later off Smith Kaiser's corner kick. Wiggins and Gutierrez headers deflected, then Gutierrez kick deflected nicely. The Mustangs able to tie things up though off the nice kick here by Katie Drittler. That ties it at 1-1. Statesboro with another chance just before the half. Gutierrez runs down the loose ball, but the Mustang keeper with another heads-up play, and we go to the half tied at 1-1. In the second half, the Blue Devils on the break. Smith Kaiser with the nice feed ahead to Gutierrez and a good stop, but the Mustang defender falls on the ball with her hands. That's a handball in the box, resulting in a penalty kick, which Gutierrez scores easily, and it's 2-1. Samaria Smith playing solid all game in goal for Statesboro here with a nice deflection. And then Brooke Stansel with a little insurance as she scores. And the Blue Devils win this one by a final count of 3-1. The Statesboro boys in a battle for first place hosting South Effingham. The Blue Devils unable to connect on a few early opportunities. Cole Landing wide left on his attempt. Next, Junosa Maga, his shot deflected away. Then Payne Van Tassel's free kick gobbled up by Anthony Beck in the goal. On the other end, Patrick Weber up for the task. Here a nice sliding stop. But later Weber comes out and Jaden Parrish makes him pay as he scores, and it's 1-0 South Effingham. Later off the free kick, Weber leaping high to make the save. And then once again, Weber there for the stop, and we go to the half, 1-0. The fans hoping to help Statesboro turn it around in the second half, and nice defense early. Weber with the stop, Landing clears it away, but then after a Statesboro penalty in the box, Andrew Garner able to convert on the PK, and it's 2-0 South Effingham. With less than 20 minutes remaining, the Blue Devils get a spark as Payne Van Tassel is able to blast this one home, and it's 2-1. A few minutes later, check out Van Tassel. He flies through the Mustang defense and gets this one past Beck, tying the game at 2-2. And then with 3 minutes left, take a look at 3-2-1. Take a look at Nash Welsh as he fires what proves to be the game winner in, and Statesboro comes back for the victory by a final count of 3-2. Up next, Statesboro will be on the road on Tuesday at Ware County. That'll wrap up region play, and then they wrap up the regular season at home Friday with a doubleheader against Groves. Stay with us. We'll head to the baseball diamond coming up next.
Hey, Miss Thompson. Everything's fine. It's going to be no problem. I'll have you done in a few minutes.
My name is Tazy Nordhoff, part owner of Complete Car Care, and I want you to come see me.
The Medical Center Pharmacy on Grenade Street is proud to be your Health Mart pharmacy in Statesboro. The Medical Center Pharmacy, locally owned and serving this community for 50 years, is open 364 days a year. The pharmacists at Medical Center know there's nothing more important than your family's well-being. That's why they take the time to know their customers, explain their medications, and answer any questions. The Medical Center Pharmacy, your Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
Well, it's been a long season for the Statesboro Blue Devils, who entered this past week only having won 3 games and only 2 games in the region, but all that could change quickly with games coming up against New Hampstead, who were coming in having lost every region game going into the Statesboro series. Statesboro needed 2 wins in order to clinch a state playoff berth and the 4th seed. Well, they won 3. Now they've won 4 in a row. Nice way to go. They do not have a region tournament, so they'll begin state playoffs coming up next week. And let's get out and take a look at some of the highlights from the doubleheader there on Thursday, which wrapped up their region schedule. Statesboro baseball team hungry to earn a spot in the state playoffs, hosting New Hampstead in the first of 2. Davis Wiggins starts things off with a double into right, setting up runners on second and third for Michael Mascarello. And he sends a flare into right field. It falls, and the runner from third comes home to make it 1-0. Next up, it's Jackson Proctor, who sends a fly ball to center, plenty deep enough to bring Wiggins home from third, and it's 2-0 Statesboro. Next up, Blake Stampford with the single to center. That'll bring another run home for a 3-0 Blue Devil lead. The story of the game was sophomore Michael Mascarello on the mound. He'd finished with 12 strikeouts here with the inning ender. Then in the second, bases loaded for Wiggins, who singles into left. 2-run score, and it's 4-0. Plenty of run support for Mascarello. He'd go 6 innings, allowing only 1 hit. Statesboro adds a few insurance runs and wins 7-0. That win sent smiles throughout the home stands as it clinched a state playoff berth. So we moved to Game 2, and Bradley Gronfeld, trying to keep up with the job Mascarello did. Here he strikes out the side in the first inning. He'd help his own cause at the plate as well, here getting this one into left field. That's followed right here into left, and then that's followed by a single to left by J.D. Kaiser. And then with runners on second and third, Davis Wiggins comes through with the drive to deep left field. Plenty deep enough to score Harrison Hughes to make it 1-0. Next, the double steal, the ball thrown into left, and Ryan Lindsay will scamper on home to make it 2-0. Then it's Austin Arendez with 2 on, and the base hit to right will bring both runners home to make it 4-0 Statesboro. Gronfeld continuing his dominance. He'd have 11 strikeouts and allowed only 1 run. Jackson Proctor providing some insurance with 1 on. The deep fly ball to left. This one bobbled and then dropped. Proctor never lets off the gas, running all the way home, and Statesboro wins their 4th straight, 7-2. The Blue Devils still with 3 games to go. Monday, they're at Glen Academy. Wednesday, they host Glen Academy. Friday, they're at Glen Academy to wrap up the regular season. The state playoffs will start the following week. And before we go, speaking of the Diamond, Georgia Southern's baseball team on the road, where they were swept by South Alabama, lost 3 games there. Up next for them, they'll host the College of Charleston coming up on Tuesday, and then they get back into conference play this weekend against UT Arlington. Right now, the Eagles are in 3rd place in their division in the Sun Belt. Speaking of UTA, The women's softball team, or the softball team rather, lost 2 of 3 to UTA this past weekend. All right, well, that'll wrap things up for now. We thank you for joining us and hope to see you again next week.